And we are back for the Wingman Series 2. Game number 2 coming up next. Obviously, game number 1 just took place. How are you doing? You just got here.
A bit stressed out. I watched the game on my phone in the cab on the way here, so I managed to catch most of it when I had reception there. But a good game.
Yeah.
Some of the teams really fracking out. I didn't expect. I didn't expect some of these players to frag that much out. Pidgeot Minoda taking down some good kills as well.
Yeah, had 8 kills.
Yeah, insane.
Carried his duo partner who died very, very early in the game, still managing to make it in the third in the game. Obviously, that's kind of the nature of duos compared to squads. You know, you can
for sure
you can survive long enough. We saw Schaffer also having the circle in his on his side throughout the whole game. He didn't have to make a move. He lost his teammate in the first circle, pretty much. I think it was. Still managed to make it into the final. I think 10 teams. So
yeah.
Obviously, you know, the teams that managed to make their way into the center part of the circle in the beginning of the game, they guessed right. They had the circle on them for the most part.
Yeah.
And then you had like 26 teams trying to fight for like 15 compounds.
Yeah. And small shit shacks and dips and divots.
Yeah. And you always know how that's going to turn out.
Yeah.
So I thought, you know, I think duo, I was just talking with Joachim there about duos as a mode in this game. I thought, you know, from my perspective, it kind of showcases both individual skill, but also obviously when you're playing with a partner, you can have a lot of strategy involved as well.
Oh, absolutely. I think also the beautiful thing about duo is also there's the double amount of teams, so the density of teams are much closer together. So you can have compounds where there's 2 or 3 duos together, where usually in squads it's just one squad holding down the compound. So you can share the compounds a lot more, and you get a lot more exciting close combat matches often.
Yeah, and also earlier encounters, which don't really happen in the squad games, does it? So, like we saw, Pachinki had a couple teams, actually 3 or 4 teams were, you know, kind of eyeing it and see how many duels are going that way, and ended up with a couple of teams making their way into Pachinki, and then eventually they had to duke it out. But then, yeah, obviously makes for a bit more excitement in that sense. Yeah.
Duo definitely a competitive mode, not what you usually play, but I still think it has a way to go in the future as well, and that's why I think it's beautiful that GLL is keeping the Wingman alive, and we're going to see the Series 3 as well on Savage. Looking forward to that.
What's your thoughts on the map?
I think it's really good.
Yeah.
My first thought when Miramar came out was like, oh, there's not enough cover for people.
Yeah.
But I think Savage is a perfect example where you have a lot of hills, you have a lot of divots, you have some houses, and I think it'd be a really good map for smaller teams. Maybe in squads it's 8, 10 teams, 12 maybe, and in duos it could be a lot more, of course. But exciting.
Yeah, it's pretty much built for fighting.
Yeah,
which I like about it. It's just obviously just to kind of. I was just telling Joachim as well how being an FPS player for such a long time, it's just fun to be in an environment where you know you're just going to be in for a fight for
all
pretty
the
much everywhere you go on the map.
And also when you play it, I think because it's so small, you have to worry about everything all the time. Mm-hmm. You also, like, when you see somebody and you want to engage them, you have to worry about your back, because when you engage, there's going to be other people coming in from behind and fighting. And I think it's a good map. I think the competitive future of it's going to be good.
Yeah, especially then going further, then seeing more maps coming in, different environments coming, possibly the snow map as well, something we discussed here before too. I think that would be very, very cool once it does happen. But we're actually going to be on something very classic here.
Yes, the air angle.
Yeah, we've seen
the favorite map of most competitive players.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm going to be honest here and say that I like it more than Miramar.
Yeah, I mean, I like Miramar. I just don't think that Miramar is competitively super ready enough.
Yeah.
We need some more rocks. There's some more stones. I still think it's viable, but I still think Wrangle is the better choice for the competitive scene right now.
Compared to game number 1.
I didn't see the first plane. I don't know how. This plane is beautiful.
Yeah, no, that one was basically also going from the west side to east side. So I dissected it into 2 parts here.
Okay.
But this time around, we have more stuff happening in the Millie Island compared to the first game, just because of how the plane came in.
Yeah, and also the very beautiful part of it, when you get these, like, from the southeast to the northwest kind of planes, it will always open up the map a lot more if it's just like straight down the middle or the bottom or anything, So a lot more teams is going to share this. A lot of teams opting for going for the eastern side here, going for Milta and looting that way. Probably also driving towards Libovka, Kamiski even. A lot of teams able to come everywhere here.
Yeah, again, we do see Pachinki is going to be shared by 2 duos. And also Novo, I think there was 2 or 3 teams even that made their way all the way there. So that would potentially be some early contests happening.
Yeah, and I mean, also in duos here, you don't have enough spots to loot, so you have to share some of these big cities, just Naya, Georgopol, Milta, Novo, even even military, but only Lil Prodigy and his teammate Pat Caps. They went down there.
Yeah, a much bigger spread right now in the teams. We have people going all the way to Severny, all the way up in Zarki. So
only one team in Northjos is kind of surprising. Oh, and kind of the same.
It's
circle
pretty much
as
the same
before,
circle, yeah, as before.
So this, I mean, it's probably not gonna go military, but the guys down in military, they're gonna be able to loot all the time they want, and then they can just be driving once the next circle hits, and then they can just take a decision from once the next circle hits here.
Yeah.
But of course, we're gonna see some fights in probably George, maybe in Novo, and these teams, they don't. I mean, when you're in a duo, you don't want to fight until you have a helmet, until you have a chest arm and an AR, and you're not gonna just rush somebody. Usually, when you play squad, you can rush people with pistols, and they opt to go. If they get contested, they try to fight a lot more early stage.
Well, speaking of early stage, let's get a bit of a peek on the stats from the first game, just so we know we are in terms of points. Mr. Fuse, high definition, and Bardave. Actually, out of these players, who are the ones that you're looking out for the most in terms of?
I mean, the Russian powerhouse of Pidgeminota from Navi and Noctiv from Avanga is definitely a duo to look out for. They're extremely skilled, both of them. You could see it from Pidgeminota with that 8x spray.
Yeah.
It's not something you see from everybody, but somebody has a super high sensitivity. So you're able to control it at a much higher rate, because if you have an angle grip, and the M4 is just super good with that recoil, so he's definitely got a high sensitivity. Another team I was looking out for when we started this was Pat Caps and Lil Prodigy. Lil Prodigy, super young, talented player from the US. Also extremely good at controlling spray, and I think those two guys can also can make some of it as well.
Well, let's go back into the action and see if we've missed anything. Right now, we do see that Blackhawk and Sarkis have decided to kind of split it in terms of looting, and little do a Wizard and his teammate right now know that they're actually surrounded, technically speaking.
Do you think they know that Shaki's over here, so they're gonna push here?
That's potentially what's going on. I'm not sure if they do know that he's there alone though. Might have spotted him leaving, and then thinking, we're getting behind him. Yeah,
and they want to take the 2 versus 1 in an early stage here. He had a level 1 helmet and some armor, and he had an M4 as well, so they're definitely in a position to make a move on these guys. But it looks like they're just gonna loot here and leave Sharkies alone for now.
Yeah.
But again, Novo is such a big city and not a big city, but such a big area, so you can easily share this loot. Even taking the Novo trash here west, where Vladcon and his teammates has opted for that.
I think Sarki is actually potentially spotted one of them. Yep, he does. He sees both of them actually. He's just waiting for the opportune time for him to take a shot, and they have no idea Sarki's here. It's a holo Car 98 shot. Waiting to happen, but he does get spotted in the end. Has to rotate, loses almost half of his HP.
He's gonna take 2 shots to the chest, and he's gonna run out with his UMP and a Car 98. Pickgood and Gova. They must have known that he was there, so they're gonna make a move on him. They're just rotating a bit around, trying to get a good position on him. But meanwhile, Vladcon, he knows
silenced Car 98 with a 2x.
No, a mini.
A mini, never mind. Yeah,
silenced mini. Yeah, so
I got
2x is actually okay on the mini.
That's true. Yeah,
I think it's decent enough. So he's gonna take some spot on the Pickgood and Gova. They're rotating behind and taking shots at him as well, connecting one already. He's just gonna disengage from this fight, not thinking it's worth it taking a fight in the open here. So they're gonna be split up, these 2 guys.
But now, these dudes should know that they're split up right now. So make a choice. You should probably push one of them. So you do, considering the zone right now, they would have so much room to play with here.
Yeah, so they could easily take just a decision and say, okay, this Vladcon down here, he's solo. We saw him running away. We could hunt him, or we could just hold some angles on him. But it doesn't look like they're doing that. Sharky, meanwhile, taking a car.
He's booking it. Apparently, he's just leaving his teammate, who's run to the forest, runs to the hills. It appears he's making his way to the higher grounds to make his way to his teammate. In the meanwhile, though,
Samuelson, taking shots. Double AK, orange AKs taking shots at Drassel and Pistola time.
Drassel's car is it up? No, never mind.
I think he's
It's just
boosting.
out-
He's boosting.
Yeah.
But they didn't want to go that way anyway, so they're turning around and going West Coast again. I mean, it's just a couple of shots, but you don't want to run into a duo with the cars. Taking these cars as well, it's much more viable taking cars as well, because you're not going to run into a full squad that can just blow up your car easily.
Yeah.
You need to have a full duo that's going to hit at least I think it's 38 or 40 something bullets for the US. So you need to have a lot of damage on these guys before blowing up a car. So cars are much more viable, and you need to stick onto those cars when you play duos like this.
Yeah, in game one we saw people were maybe a little too, I don't know, careless when they were in transition, getting caught off by people that were camping in compounds, and then one of the guys got knocked out in a car. You know, obviously that's compromising your game massively. So you still kind of have to be aware of the fact that people are going to be, you know, just taking holding angles, waiting for people to be moving into better position, especially when the second circle hits in and you're looking to trying to get that central positioning.
Yeah, of course. I mean, and also that's the beautiful part about duo also, because the meta kind of shifts a lot. Because when you play squad, there's a lot of teams, or at least 10 or 12 teams that ops sending off a scout, taking a middle compound, or somewhat middle. So you're secured having the next circle on you. But here in duos, it's much more viable actually just edging a bit more. But because there's so much more teams in a second and third circle, you're going to have so many teams around the circle. So if you come late, there's just going to be people shooting you around the edge all the time.
Yeah, there's going to be gatekeepers.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's never going to be fun. In the first game, we saw the people that were in the center of the third circle when the ones effectively that just made it into the end, because everyone that was trying to get into the edge of the circle, like you said, there were so many gatekeepers that people were losing members or had to play individually, eventually losing their teammate, which is putting yourself in a bit of a dicey position. But it is duo game, so like we saw in game number one, you can still survive with an individual player against these duos and wipe out duos quite effectively if you get positional advantage.
Pride and Zuma taking shots at our last game's winners. But Dave or Bardave, if you missed a feuds HD, he's probably gonna upgrade to 4K soon, or Full HD at least.
Or 8K.
Oh,
that's the future, mate.
That's the future. Yeah, virtual reality is gonna be the next you're gonna have after your name. It's gonna be beautiful.
You never know.
But yeah, of course, these guys are gonna slowly start moving into the zone here, and at least come inside the white zone here. A lot of teams are already inside, but we're going to have a lot of teams outside, keeping looting, staying outside and looting, and making sure that they're going to have fully equipped armor and gear and guns here.
Yeah.
To my
Smoke's being deployed. Mr. Fusey HD.
Oh, he could see his helmet.
I think he should be able to see his head. Didn't he?
I think it looked like he saw a helmet here.
Yeah.
Couldn't really tell because of the X-ray here, but
it's slightly easier for us to
yeah, of course.
spot him. Obviously,
remove the X-ray.
Even when we don't have, even if we don't have the X-ray on, and we can see the slightest of his helmet, it's a bit of a different thing when he's looking through the scope,
obviously
playing the game,
obviously
taking care of all the little details. Oh,
Tumai with the red dot K98 here. Didn't take a shot at Schaefer. Smeagol and Schaefer there rotating already. He's going to take a shot at that, not connecting. Meanwhile, his teammate here, Pride, took some shots as Mr. Fuse. Oh, connecting good shots here. Dave.
Yeah. So a lot of damage inflicted. He lost 70% of his health.
Yeah, and also he only has a level 1 vest, so
that's gone.
That's kind of gone already, or down to like 50% at least. So he needs to find a new one of those at least. He did have a level 3 helmet though, so that's a good way to go when you have a 8X and a K98 if you want to peek people here. Oxo took 666 and his teammate making his way in from Yasnaya. They've been in Kameski Stalberry, I believe. Beautiful name right there. Wildcard Gaming kickstart here in the north as well. So Hulu Silva is probably going to drive into those guys while they're looting.
Yeah.
Drassel and Pistola Time also making their way in. Maybe an Octave here has spotted these guys, but they're driving on the hill.
Yeah, they should have. There's a lot of trees over there, so they should have cover. Obviously,
and it's an elevated area as well.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
they're gonna hear him go past. Actually, Samuelson taking some shots on him here in the compound, or next to the compound rather.
Walking Shame walking up to these guys, trying to take a good spot on these guys. Drazel, he's gonna stop and turn around here, taking the edge of the the hill right here. So they're gonna stay at the gas station for now. But Yamanoda and Octave, they're making their way to the glass building there on the hill as well. They have spotted those guys as well.
Yeah, I always kind of wonder, like, when teams are. Oh, what are these guys doing?
He just drove somebody down. Kickstart just drove Hula Silva down. That's unfortunate.
What I was gonna say is that when you're taking on shots to cars that are passing by, but they are like that far away that when you're taking shots, it's a bit of a, you're kind of hoping to hit some amazing shots.
Of
so you're
course.
compromising your position as well, because right now, Pijama and Nota and his teammates are going to know that there's a team right north of them.
Yeah.
So, it's a bit of a game of give and take in terms of, like, do I really want to contest this? Because that's going to compromise my positioning.
Yeah, and they made a super good choice here. So they knocked Pistola Time, or Pistola Time got knocked at least. I'm not sure if it was Pijama Manoda and Octave knocking them. But they saw the next circle, and it pushed kind of northeast here. So
it's very similar to the first game.
It's very similar. So they want to make a move here and maybe gatekeep or get into the zone a bit better here. Nice knock. Usually, when you see these guys play, they would play off the knock and try to push them, but they're prioritizing the position here because it's so important when you have these duo games.
Oh, Empire, they made it second in the first game. There's team number 26. I'm not sure who it is exactly, but they're engaging him. It's Biz and his teammate
Mortify.
Oof, that's a scary nickname.
It's super scary, actually. Biz, I'm
mortifying.
It's a mortifying name.
Worst joke ever.
That's what we like here. So that's beautiful. That's I think we're known for the dad jokes here on this channel. But if not, you're welcome to show some more good jokes in the chat if you want to. Kickstart, they're probably gonna gatekeep these guys. They've heard them at least. So Microstar and Carbon XYC, they're moving in here and they're actually jumping into their car. So they're just gonna be driving away.
Yeah,
they probably scouted a bit, trying to make it over. So so they're gonna maybe gatekeep some of those northern people moving in.
Well, considering how big the circle still is, there's compounds for them to be had.
Yes.
Everyone can have a house. All the teams can have a house.
And if you don't have a house, you can go to Shit Shack. There's lots of Shit Shacks still that you can take. Even some of those middle ones are actually not taken. So the one on the roads here and north here, all these are not taken. They're, of course, getting gate kept a bit, but not a developer. He's also they have a good spot here in the dip. There's a super good spot here in the dip up there that you can play as well, play out of.
Very similar to game number 1. Now, if you're going to make your way down south in terms of circle positioning, you're going to end up in a situation where you're going to get crossfired from all angles by different duos. So you really do have to pick and choose in terms of how you transition, as that's a nade.
That's
beautiful. A Kobe.
They took the decision here to push on this knock they got. So Pat Caps and Little Prodigy, they're moving in on the Wizards here. Pick got he has such a beautiful name. I don't want to say what it is in Danish, but it's very sensual at least.
Okay, you can tell me after the cast.
I will do. But yeah, this push was very smart. They're pushing in towards the middle. They're taking control of these guys and eventually just pushing Wizards out of this and pushing on this knock. Yeah, which is what you want to do. I mean, when you play duo, you get a knock, and you know there's 2 players. Okay, it's 50% down. So either he's going to defend, it's going to be a 2v1, or he's going to be trying to revive his teammate. We have 10 seconds to push on it.
Yeah.
So that's very beautiful of him.
Indeed. I'm a fan of the strategy for sure.
He has a good spot indeed.
Yeah, he does. He's just going to wait him to make a move. But the problem is that if they do maneuver moving alongside one another, they should be able to trade, as that position of him is now compromised.
Beautiful.
Pat Caps comes in, circles behind. Piggut gets the kill.
Fantastic flank right here. He was full focused on that guy in the corner. Meanwhile, Pat Caps just took the 5 seconds run and did the flank on them. So they're going to have this good compound here. And if we know the circles, it's probably going to end around here like the last game, right?
Exactly.
So, yeah.
But that's exactly what I was saying before. That's the beauty of duos. It's individual prowess, but also you can do so many little things as with your partner in terms of how you rotate, how you flank, how you do things, utilizing grenades, flashes, smokes, everything. So
yeah,
I think this is, even in terms of esports going further, I feel like duo could be a very interesting
for sure. Yeah, and stuff we haven't seen. A beautiful circle, as we saw, kind of as the same as before. So Pidgemanota, he remembered the circle from last time, so they took a good choice in here and going into the 3-story right there. Online at 21, He looks like he knows where Jekinov is. They must have some info on him either by driving or some other info. Maybe they've spotted him earlier, or they're just gatekeeping because they know there were people down there. It looks like Jekinov has lost his teammate. Maybe he's not somewhere near at least.
It would seem the likely option that he's a lone warrior right now.
It looks like it indeed, yes.
Yeah, that's very true. No.
Team number 21. Oxotuk. Strandom Stretch. He's down to a blown up car in a second. Oh, taking those out. So Kibisley and Oxotuk 666. They're gonna eliminate Strandom, Twitch, and Kame. So they're out of the game.
There's definitely still a element of danger when you are moving with a car. As Piyama Nota is continuing where he left off in game number 1 again.
Raining hell.
Yep. That's the first one for him in this game.
But at least he's got his teammate now, so
it does help.
Exciting to see if these guys can actually stick together and keep each other alive for this, because they're a very, very dangerous duo at least.
Yeah.
Bardave being spotted here by not a developer, and PJ Renegades in this dip I was talking about earlier. Very good dip to gatekeepers lead, and you can also rotate super easily over the hill as well. A lot of lurk potential from that as well. So a good play here. Vladkot and Sharkus, they made it out on Ovo. They're slowly rotating towards Little Prodigy and Patcaps.
Question is, do they know that Impers and his teammate are actually moving along behind him as Kippy the Slayer taking on shots to C5 Soli. He's moving along with the car. The car explodes.
Oh, and that got stolen, or at least kickstart. He did shoot on that car as well, so that team is eliminated as well. Down to 24 teams and 48 live, so all duos is alive.
Yeah.
Danny just knocked Sharkies and Carbon YC. Also knocked Bardave, taking out Microstar and Carbon XYZ, so they're out of the game as well. Well played by them. That makes 2 kills for last game's winners.
Sharkies has gone down.
I was just going to say Bitch is shooting here, but no. Bish is, of course, taking shots here. They've been in this position with Empire entire game for now.
Yeah.
They rotated super early, and still there. Still a good position in the circle.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you get when you get position. You have enough loot to start things off. Then may as well.
Of course.
That's not the worst position, is it?
If you find a level 3 helmet and a level 3 vest and an M4 and 90 bullets, you might as well go to the middle, right?
Exactly. You got all the bases covered, basically.
Yeah.
But yeah, Sharkies has gone down. So, never mind. He's still alive, but his teammate is Vladkot. He abandoned his teammate effectively.
He did indeed dip him. Emperor's here running out of the blue to trying to survive, making it behind the wall. Danny's still alive as well. They're also running behind the wall. Patcaps here with us silenced. Looks like M24 and a level 3 helmet and a level 3 vest. That's pretty good geared.
Yeah.
You can't complain of that setup. Little Prodigy as well with a level 3 helmet and a Carnate and an NX. Okay, these guys are super lit. They did also wipe one of the squads here, but they're in a good loot situation here.
The question is,
next circle.
The next circle, what does it do? If it's going to be the same as before, it is going to be pretty much exactly the same as before.
Pretty much pretty close on the S compound here down in the south. Pidgeminota, Inoctive, Mudov, and his teammate inside as well, Serial Phonias, and a name I can't, Costas, let's just say that. They're all in the S compound here, sharing it, ultimately.
Now it's effectively a split of 50-50 in terms of teams that are within the new circle and teams that are outside the circle that will have to maneuver their way in. But there are teams that are gatekeeping right now on the edges of that new circle.
Oxotuk here driving straight toward Empire. They have heard them, so they dipped out of the car here, so they're in a good position. Snoopy here is gonna run away from that. He doesn't want to be close to that. A Doozy also close. M16 in hand. What is gonna happen here?
That is always the question, isn't it? Is this that's a team that's now actually going to be 2 teams roughly going in here towards Empire. The Doozy here just utilizing the shack here. He can probably hear them by now coming in. He does. He's going to take some shots, knocks one of them out, sees the other one, and there we go. That's going to be a full-on.
That's a nice wipe.
That's a wipe.
He did hear them, of course, in the car when they pulled up, so he has the information on them. and they ultimately had to run towards him to get inside the zone. Meanwhile, player 36 and Sharks, or Sharks.
Player 36 is an old Counter-Strike player.
Oh, really?
Vilden.
Oh, really?
I had some inside intel.
Holy
He
wow.
sent me a message on Skype.
And he
saying,
said...
I'm playing in this. I'm player 36 because I can't change my name.
So he has to either spend €30 to get some new heroes. Sharpshot might have spotted him, taking shots at him. Getting him down to 20%. He's gonna disengage from that fight, and Sharks is... That's a late down. Also taken down to 20% Sharks. And knocked as well. Player 36 is the last man alive. Okay, he's just shooting at the... Oh, and they're out now. So, actually, a Doozy from Empire shot at him from behind, so they heard him at the rock here. So, Vilden, not so wild anymore. Fantastic player back in the day, by the way.
Yeah, he was. Good with the AWP.
Alifar here taking a good, not so good strategy. Good rotation into the house. They tried to breach this, but that didn't work. He went in alone, ultimately, sending his...
that was effectively a bum rush.
Yes. So Skurklol here from Ambush is also... He's inside the zone. He's just in a shack, so he's just going to stay there. I don't know why they didn't opt to go together or stay together. They were inside the zone. No need to go there.
I'm pretty sure team number 6 here has heard the fight that was going on within the region of where Empire is right now. So they're going to be cautious moving in. They are within the circle.
8 players in the northeast here.
Yeah,
so
exactly. So these teams are going to be duking it out in terms of who gets the north side of the circle under their control.
Sharpshot, he knows that Empire is over there because his knock got stolen from Doozy, so they have the information here. He just wants to loot a helmet. He got a level 3 helmet fresh. That was a very nice upgrade from
not having one
from the blonde skull to the other one. Bardev and Mr. Fuse just laying in this little dip and behind this little flower plant, whatever we want to call it. Oh, Snoopy's Empire of Anadusi here. Empire, they just knocked him, so they're in a 1v1 situation right and not developer. So Anadusi is... He's down to a teammate has knocked, and they're just gonna take this out.
Not a developer.
He's not a developer, but he's gonna get his teammate up. It looks like they're gonna crawl to that. But meanwhile, Sharpshot and Kickstart and Mr. Fuse and Bardev, they're also inside, and they heard this.
But they've got quite the way to go down into the circle, though.
Yeah. So this looks like a copy of the last game, basically.
Basically, yeah.
And
again, early adopters of these compounds here in the middle, with team number 22 and 19 are the ones in prime position. They, if I remember correctly, PM and Nota, I think they were pretty well kit as well.
Yeah, they both. Oh, so they knocked that there, and Pijam Nota is going to push in that right now.
Yeah.
So he's waiting for an octave here.
Being proactive.
Oh, so
that's
just saw that nice shot. No knock though.
Did it connect?
I think it's like an over body throat shot. Pat Caps pushing out aggressively, taking down an octave, but he got taken down by Pijam Nota, and he's going to be taking those 2 kills home. So Anoctive is gonna go in here and get picked up by Pijam Minoda, and they're up to 4 kills now. Walking shame.
Oh, that's a pan hit. That's now the problem that everyone's just gonna get crossfired from every angle because how small the area is gonna be in terms of how many players here are alive. Walking Shame's gonna try to rotate, but no, it's gonna get knocked down. Ghost. Oh, actually, never mind. It was Nihanas. Ghost
teammates. He's also knocked right now. So Lula and his teammate Andrew Poons, they're going to be pushing in as well. Kickstart, Sharpshot, taking shots at Bardev. They're going to take their vehicle and just rotate into this. And the northeast is already.
This is this should.
Oh, they hit a tree right there.
They hit something.
I think it. That's a 2-seater. They hit a rock.
Yeah. No.
There
we go. I was gonna say this is gonna get dicey just because everyone's got a house and they're all gonna be
crossfired. Oh, he drove him down. Mr. Fuso taken down. So delicious. Why not take him down while doing it? But he's gonna get his teammate up here. Meanwhile, Skurklol from Ambush is gonna push up to them. We heard that fight. It's just annihilation right now from everybody lost. We're down to 22 alive, 13 teams. Prime Legend taking some shots in the ass. Yeah, it's just Lucky taking some shots at Lula. They're not inside the zone yet, and it's still pushing them here in the behind. And they're just in the open right now.
Yeah, that's the problem, right? If you don't have position right now, you're going to be in a world of hurt unless you have a car and then you can maybe find a dip, make a cover with your car as the fight's going on. Pajama and Nota, again, he's got 5 on the board with his duo partner.
There he was we didn't see it, but it was a M24 shot to the head on an already knocked team. So that team is out already. Down to 10 teams now. 18 people alive. The super
That's
goes.
a good
That's
nade.
a nice nade.
Wow. That should push now, though.
The super here, 20% HP taking the fight here. It's just lucky. They have so much smoke. He's just gonna try to push this, trying to avoid this nade. Smart play.
He's just in the smoke. He's gonna sneak his way in. This could be a great play actually, but he's gonna have to try to get some HP because he's down to like 15, 20 at this point in time.
It's a pretty good position to have. They are open to the back though, and it's just lucky hurt them and maybe just saw him right there. Grime taking shots here. Super connecting too. He's gonna push it, knocking him as well, and being pushed from behind. It's just lucky taking the 1v1 and surviving that. I mean, fantastic push by both of them. But very smart from It's Just Lucky pushing the other way around here, making the counter flank. Sharp shot and kickstart here pushing in to Cyril Funayas and Costas, which they got a knock on, so they had an open opportunity to push this house. Nading upstairs.
Yeah, they've been heard.
He's just gonna. Oh, ooh, it went down again.
That's always kind of the situation that can occur with an HE.
Yeah,
That's happened to me a bunch of times for sure.
you naded yourself?
Yeah, I think everyone's done that a few times.
I think so too.
And who hasn't is lying.
I mean, I think the best nader of the game, or the best nader of the game I've ever seen, is Kramer from Pittsburgh Knights. He thought he threw smokes at his teammates, so he threw 2, and then he threw another one, and there's a nade, and he wiped his full teammate, and it was in a tournament. It was very beautiful.
Speaking of
So
wiping.
delicious here. Speaking of wiping a full team, So Delicious is wiped off the board right here. Mars down to 50% HP, just running out. And there's ultimately just 3 teams around this house right now.
Indeed. Mars just decides to become a snake and wait for anyone to make a move instead of being proactive as the zone is shrinking in. Most of the teams are within the circle, but they all have compounds as well. So it's a bit of a stalemate in that sense.
Yeah.
Except for a couple players. It's just Lucky who's just basically trying to hold the west side of the circle, waiting for anyone to be coming in.
And he has a shack he can push to, which is inside the zone. But he's worried about the north here. It looks like he's just looking all the way around here, making sure that he is inside.
There's a bit of a party going on here.
It's a good party. It's 2 duos and a single man, Mars himself.
Plus, yeah, 50.
Sharp shot just got knocked with a headshot.
A Mudov, or in the other building.
Yeah. And we also lost Pijamanoda and an Octave as well. They went out in top 12, I'd say. So they're out as well. Vladkov here right out. Pistola time and Razzle. Putting some more kills on the board right here. They're up to 5 now, I believe.
Yeah. Alright, that's now that fight's happening. Mars has gone down. That's the one individual dead. There's still 2 duos in that compound, if I'm not mistaken.
So the next zone is gonna. It's close to them, but still, it's straight on to Mudov and Fifi Jones here, and they've been inside this compound since the first circle, basically, and they just got the 7th circle just straight on them. So they're gonna be in a extremely good position right here.
Indeed, they've just won the lottery in game number 2, haven't they? As teams 40 and 30 are roommates.
They're trying to share a house, and it doesn't look like they're good roommates. They
don't pay rent.
No, they have opted to go upstairs and just camp at the upstairs and wait for these guys. And it's so hard to push this. Like basically, the only thing you can do is jump out the balcony and jump off, because it's just a bottleneck situation right here. You can't go down because they are just holding it 2-man. So you can't really do that unless they throw an 8 down the stairs, try to push them into the rooms, and then push on it.
Yeah, well.
It's just Lucky. He's still worried about somebody up in the northeast. Maybe he spotted or heard Ghost
earlier. Yeah, it must have been something like that.
They did get a lot of fights here.
But now he does need to move. Just Lucky and Graham Legend are actually having a UAZ, and they're going to be utilizing that to make a move. Now, is that Ghost taking a shot? No, it's from the compound. Oh, yeah, well, that happens when you're late into the action. And there comes the kills. It's Mordov managing to take him down.
Yep, on 7 kills right now. Mordov and Fifi Jones, the Danish duo. They're in a really good situation right now. Straight in the middle here, they can just wait for everybody else and just gatekeep everybody who's not inside the zone yet.
Ooh.
Sharp shot, knocked. Final cost is a nice play by him. I think he jumped out the balcony and went around.
What is funny as another though? It's just
Kickstart is he's in the edge here. He's just sneaking. Oh, he pushed out as well. Oh, Kickstart taking Serial down. So it's down to a 1v1 right here.
Yeah.
Who's gonna come out on top?
Smoke everywhere though, so that's gonna make
he shot his teammate as well.
That's what you don't want to see. But
yeah, but I mean, he did eliminate a full team, wiping out his our own teammate as well. But he's inside the zone now, and Ghost also managed to sneak his way in. He's just laying at this rock
without a single kill in the game, by the way.
Without a single kill. Very sneaky situation right here.
He's been a massive snake, isn't he? Now there is that the little dip that you can utilize.
Fifi Jones
But
and Mudov getting the zone again.
Yeah.
Straight onto them. Of course, it's a good decision taking a center compound, but being rewarded seven circles in a row is usually unheard of.
Yeah.
Drassel and Pistola Time, they have to make a move here. They can ultimately move down of this ramp and take the lower ground position, or they can stay on the upper ground or the top ground here, staying prone on that road as well. So they really need to decide what they're going to do right here.
Yeah, before it's too late, because eventually, 30 seconds later, the zone's going to start pushing them in.
And that zone is a zone you don't want to stay outside.
No, it does make a lot of damage.
Yeah. They're trying to get some information here. They, of course, know there's players in here. They heard them shoot multiple times. So they're just going to stim up, mid up, try to get mentally ready for this fight and make a good decision where they're going to move. I would opt for the lower ground move right here.
Yeah, the individuals here, Ghost and Final Costas, we'll just try to avoid fighting, but Costas goes down, so it's not going to have that luxury. Ghost still alive here, making his way. He's got the little dip to play with, so the Fifi and Mudov are not going to have their eye on him for the time being. Well, they do know he's there, though. I think that's confirmed.
Indeed. Nading, taking some shots at him. Ghost here at 80% HP, but he's just going to move inside the zone. And this corner of the house is a blind angle for them. So he can get inside to this boiler action right here. Pistola Time and Drassel just kind of chilling for now, trying to get some info on these guys.
Pushing in, though. It's Pistola Time, and it's going to actually get Ghost.
So this is...
Now they know the other team
nice
is
nade.
That's a good nade. That could be decisive, but...
he didn't cook it, so Fifi...
Yeah.
He could make it into this room, and it's just going to be down to a waiting game. Oh, nice knock here. Pistola Time taking shots at Mudov here, and Mudov is down to 30% HP, and they should just really push this right now. He's going to go up and try to rest his teammate.
Yeah.
We have this hidden timer right now, and Drassel killed... I don't know what happened. Oh, taking shots as well. 10% down to on
now
Mudov here.
Push. Now you really do need to push.
Yeah.
He had the opportunity.
Waiting on the stairs. Oh, he's waiting on the stairs. And Mudov just healing up again. No, very little helmet left. A broken little 3 vest, and it's down to a 2 versus 1. And these guys definitely have the upper hand right now.
Yeah, well, Mudov is effectively a broken man at this point, but he's managing to stem up before the fight happens. Nades are going to be raining in, but he should be in a position where these nades shouldn't get him. But he does need to be a little bit proactive here. I feel like, he needs to try to get some angles to get some shots in, maybe get a headshot in, knock one guy down, and then it becomes a one-on-one, a very different environment from being, one-on-2.
Yeah, of course. Mudov here, he's just trying to survive these nades right now and get some info and maybe ultimately making a peek on these guys. He's at least trying to peek him out right now. And they're not together, so they're not able to refrag, and Mudov could... get a knock here, and he's taking Pistola down to 20% HP, and he's gonna have to heal this. This hidden timer is running right now. The 3-minute timer is probably about 60 seconds left before it's gonna move into the death circle of nothingness.
Of going extinct on the island. Well, some bullets being traded, damage being dealt to Pistola Time. Mudov still... Oh, he does find an angle, but...
Taking Drassel down.
Yeah, he does actually manage.
It was a level 3 helmet, so not gonna do a lot of damage. Oh, Mudov down to 30% HP. Drassel here, he's just flashbanging them as well. That's also a way to do it. Drazzle here taking an aggressive stance right now, trying to pre-fire the corners.
Yeah, well, the fight. Ooh, the pushes are coming in. This should be the end of Mudov, as it is.
Indeed. Very well played by Pistolatom and Drazzle here. Early movement and good positioning throughout the game, securing these 8 kills. Mudov with 6 kills as well, also 8 kills in that team. Nihanas and Ghost, the snakes, coming into top 3 as well.
Yeah, indeed. How do you even manage that?
Kickstart and Sharpshot are also securing 9 kills as well. Well played by them. Pajamanoda and an Octave on number 9 here with 5 kills as well. So that's going to wrap it up for game number 2.
Indeed, indeed. Now, I thought there in the end there, in that 1-on-2 situation, you feel like kind of, when you know that you've connected shots, I want to see them being aggressive. You push in. You know, we saw throughout the game in situations where they either knock down one or that you see a team that's dealing a lot of damage, that they really do push in because you know they're going to have to be defensive. They're going to try to heal up. Kind of, obviously it's the last fight, right? So
and especially on the knock. So when you get the knock and the other guy, because he knew he hit him, so he must be down to at least 2 hits, so 50% HP. Yeah, and they could just knock at that. But when you're in this small circle as well, being inside the house is just a death trap. I feel like because you have so much more movement, you can move around outside. You can peek all the windows, and you can choose when to peek instead of when you have to hide ultimately. But yeah.
Well, while we talk, let's watch the highlights of this game as well. There was plenty of different. This is actually, I think, one of the pushes coming in. This was a nade on Gova that managed. They got him, and then they're going to be trying to push Piggood, who does play it so that he manages to make his way pinned his hut. Yeah, gets the kill. Oh, that's never mind. That was Pat Cavs finally actually getting him down because he was getting flanked. Yeah, to rotate.
But Jimanoda here also taking some kills in that fight later, and Adusi here taking the 1v2 on Keep the Slayer, and Oxo took 666. So they got taken out pretty early as well. Top 20, I believe. They got Mr. Fuse here.
Oh, this.
He lost Bardave early, and he had to swap to the from the back seat, and he's gonna drive down Mars. And Mars actually survived this for a long time. So Belicious was able to pick up Mars right here. So that was a beautiful move as well. Kickstart here, snaking in, taking down Stereophonias, and Costas is gonna shoot his teammate and take Kickstart out meanwhile as well. So they were out at the 5th position right here, and he's killing his own teammate. I'm not sure they could have done a lot more, but he went down at least.
Yeah, it's always when there's smoke everywhere. It's really, really hard to see what you're exactly doing. This is the last fight. Pistolatom Drazzle finally coming in. They're pushing. They know, like you said, it's a death trap to be in that house, and they utilize that in their favor to wrap up the win.
Yes, very well played by them. I mean, Mudov and Vivi Jones here, they did get a super extreme luck in these circles. They got 7 in a row on them, and it even ended on them, so he could stay inside the house for the entire time. They did manage to defend it. They did get a lot of kills, and also, I mean, you have to be super aggressive playing this, but they didn't let anybody else close to the compounds, like around the walls and everything. But the other compounds around, like a lot of people breached them, and we saw 2 teams on top of each other, and they managed to keep this big house, relatively big house, safe throughout the whole match at least.
Well, that's it for game number 2. Let's see if game number 3 delivers a different circle, because so far it's been the same for the first 2 ones. Don't go anywhere. It's going to be a bit of a break, and we go back game number 3.